Fast forward, my will say a more cover embro channel your social swamps I'll say a pop creation television. Political source training me question big headlines near Jemre na Elevy Akroma ewa. Need me on Braxi say ende a can you message with me and subscribe to the channel. Hit on notification bell, share and my friends will answer into me. Can be an idiom a year and will leave a comment under the comment section. And make sure when your cases are in sa young bone writing sim.
The minority in Parliament says the government's sudden suspension of the energy sector shortfall and debt repayment levy, known as the dumpster levy, is a clear sign of trial-and-error governance. Minority Leader Alexander Afenyo Markin, in a statement on Saturday, June 14, described the indefinite postponement of the fuel tax as chaotic and hypocritical. He said the government's actions expose a fundamental lack of planning and consultation. This 11th-hour U-turn shows that the law was passed without proper engagement. It's a complete embarrassment, the Afutu MP said. The Ghana Revenue Authority had announced a delay in implementing the levy, which was due to start on June 16. The move followed public backlash and what officials described as fresh stakeholder consultations, but the minority is having none of it. This is governance by improvisation. You pass a punitive tax law, then suspend it under pressure. It's not leadership. It's panic, Afenyo Markin said. He accused the current administration of hypocrisy, noting that while in opposition, they condemned the NPP government for blaming global crises like COVID-19 and the Ukraine war for economic woes. Now they are using the Middle East crisis as an excuse for this mess. This is the same excuse they mocked when we used it. That's hypocrisy at its worst, he stated. According to Mr. Afenyo Markin, this flip-flop exposes the government's failure to build fiscal buffers and shows that they are out of touch with the economic hardship Ghanaians face. They promised relief but are delivering more suffering. This levy would only raise fuel prices, increase transport fares, and make life even harder, he said. He added that the policy itself should never have been introduced. Even at a time of crisis, the previous government managed the power sector without slapping Ghanaians with new fuel taxes. We proved it's possible to run the energy sector without burdening the people, he stressed. The minority is demanding the full repeal of the levy. Postponement is not enough, the law must go. Table a repeal bill now under a certificate of urgency. Ghanaians deserve better, the minority leader insisted. He warned that if government fails to act, it will face more resistance. This tax is economically harmful and politically dishonest. If the government truly believes in the people, it should withdraw this bad law entirely. Mr. Afenyo Markin also used the opportunity to criticize what he described as worsening mismanagement in the energy sector. They said they would continue the loss reduction program we began. That program has stalled. People still don't have prepaid meters. Power theft is rising. Revenue is leaking. The government is asleep at the wheel. He said the Energy Ministry must urgently submit policy documents on reforms to Parliament for scrutiny. This is not a matter for press statements. Parliament must see the details. We need full transparency and accountability, he demanded. The minority leader closed with a reminder of the governing party's promises. This government came to power on pledges of relief. This levy breaks those promises. Ghanaians are watching, and we will not stop fighting until this injustice is repealed. Related to Minority Leader Alexander Afenyo Markin says the government's indefinite suspension of the controversial energy sector levy, aka dumpster levy, is proof of deep hypocrisy, confusion, and incompetence on the part of the Mahama-led administration. He described the U-turn as a shameful retreat and said it completely exposes the NDC's intellectual dishonesty. Just months ago, they were shouting from every rooftop that our administration was using COVID-19 and the Russia-Ukraine war as excuses. Now they are in power and using the Middle East crisis to justify crude oil volatility. That is the height of hypocrisy, he stated. The Afutu MP slammed what he called the government's chaotic approach to policymaking. This 11th-hour postponement shows they had no plan. No stakeholder consultation, just trial and error. How do you pass a levy and cancel its implementation a few days before it kicks in? He accused the NDC of betraying their own campaign promises. They promised relief, they promised no new taxes. Now, here they are introducing punitive energy taxes, and then suspending them when Ghanaians push back. That is not leadership, that is panic. The minority leader said the NDC cannot escape accountability. We will not allow them to blame the current power crisis on the absence of this levy. Akufo-Addo kept the lights on without taxing Ghanaians into hardship. They cannot use their failed tax as a scapegoat. Mr. Afenyo Markin called the government's justification for the levy hollow. They claim they need it to pay energy sector debts, but under Akufo-Addo, we managed the power sector responsibly without burdening people. We didn't hide behind crises. We planned and executed. He demanded that Parliament be recalled immediately to repeal the Energy Sector Levies Amendment Act 2025 under a certificate of urgency. Postponing it is not enough. This levy must go. Ghanaians deserve better. He also warned that the minority would resist any attempt to reintroduce the levy in future. We are ready to stand with Ghanaians. Any attempt to revive this levy will be rejected completely. Turning to the broader power sector issues, Mr. Afenyo Markin called for urgent structural reforms. What is happening at ECG is a disgrace. Expired meters are still running. People are using power without paying because the systems are broken. That is not the fault of the people. That is a failure of governance. He said the loss reduction program started under the previous administration has stalled. Communities are crying for prepaid meters. The companies are there. The contracts exist. What is the delay? The minister must bring the full policy documents to Parliament now. Mr. Afenyo Markin accused the government of disconnecting from the people's economic reality. They are out of touch. Ghanaians are suffering, and instead of easing the pressure, they are finding creative ways to tax them. That is not what they promised. He ended with a strong warning: any response short of total repeal is unacceptable, not just to us in the minority but to the people of Ghana. Related to this story, fuel tax U-turn reveals trial and error governance. Minority dumpster tax retreat is an admission of incompetence. Minority leader fires government. Minority caucus proposes solutions to deal with energy sector debts. Minority describes new energy levy as betrayal of public trust. Dumpster levy: stop using your goodwill to saddle Ghanaians with taxes. Akoju Amanu to government. Mustafa Band slams minority over dumpster levy. Criticism: cost of living has come down since we assumed power. Kwaki. Ofosa dumpster levy. We won't allow you to gaslight Ghanaians. Miracles Aboaji to Mahama government dumpster levy.
Fast forward, Mamina will say more Kwaba Embra China social swamps I'll say pop creation television. Political stories are training because big headlines. Nejemre na Elevy Akroma ewaha. Nidi mnia mbrakisi muse ende edi kanya message ubitimi subscribe to the channel. Hit notification bell, share Emma for friends who answer into me. Kabi nidi ma aye na will leave a comment under the comment section. Ya make sure onyo Kesi sa waye ni sa. Yombong ra yingsimu.